Hey guys, and back with another video, and this is Kae-Toad Essentials ASMR, and I thought we can do some facts about the Sony PlayStation, the original Sony PlayStation. So I thought that would be pretty cool to do. So, and let's get started. Okay, the Nintendo PlayStation. Originally, the PlayStation was developed in partnership with the video game market leader Nintendo. The PlayStation Note spelling would have been a CD-ROM add-on for Nintendo's Super Famicom, known as the Super Nintendo. Outside of Japan, in the industry's prime example of spurned lovers, Nintendo got cold feet about the deal and started a similar arrangement with rivals Philips. This infuriated Sony, who went on to produce the standalone PlayStation and swiftly stole the top spot from Nintendo. But at least Nintendo still had Philips, who went on to make the horrendous CDI and the uncontested worst Zelda and Mario games ever. Look, I've seen the Zelda and Mario games on the Philips, and it looks terrible. I didn't play it, but it looks horrible. Wow, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay. PS1 games were sold until 2006. The original PlayStation was so popular, games were still being made for it throughout the lifespan for the PS2. 2,418 titles were released, with sales of almost 962 million units. That's wow, that's incredible. That's incredible for real. That's crazy. The controller symbols have special meanings. Designer Kae-Toad attended the icons on the controller to indicate their functions. Thus, the green triangle will control the camera or perspective, while the square represented a map or menu. In Japan, the red circle means okay, while the blue X means cancel. This makes sense when you think about it, but they were switched from Europe and America, except some games like Final Fantasy VII, where they weren't. This is why you never knew whether you were launching an attack or quitting the game. Thanks to you. Thanks a lot, buddy. Don Draper plays PlayStation. PlayStation advertising was adult weird and sent out the clear message that this was not a toy. The ad Double Life is Kipling for the ASBO generation, implying that every PlayStation owner yearned to be a violent, vandalizing thug, is now on the Clio Hall of Fame for advertising. Oh, and this bug-eye glass Wagian still give us nightmares. Oh wow. Okay. The PS1 mascot is a cat you have never heard of. Look, it's Toro. You know Toro, the white cat from the game Doko Demo. Isho, who's the official face of the brand? No, that's because he's never appeared outside of Japan. Toro is not exactly Mario or Mickey. The black discs were pointless. You know how PlayStation discs were black underneath instead of shiny. Awesome, right? Yeah, that was just to look cool. Wow. 102 consoles were sold before the PS1 was discontinued in 2004. $299. Sega thought they were pretty clever at the keynote address of E3 1995, a massive video game industry event. they announced that their upcoming advanced 3D console, the Sega Saturn, would beat Sony to the punch. In fact, it was on sale in stores right now. Cue gas from the audience. There was just one issue. It cost $399, basically $400 plus tax. Later Sony executive Steve Race took to the stage and said just three numbers, $299. Sony went on to dominate the market. The Sega Saturn was a flop. Oh snap! I mean, if you think about it, it was a flop. I mean, the Sega Saturn, it was cool, but Sega knew better than, especially back in them days. For a console to be $400, it would have been better if it was $199. Now that would have been a lot more better, but they didn't do it that way because Sony was very smart. Sony was very, very smart. Okay. They were rickety sons of guns. Rubbish fans meant internal hinges would melt. Disk drives would occasionally fling open and the laser would lose focus. One common fix: turn your console upside down. It lost weight. Nintendo are now the acknowledged masters of producing multiple versions of the same product, but the PlayStation kickstarted the trend. Released in 2000, 6 years after its first release, the PS1 was a dinky update that reduced the console to almost the size of a controller. It outsold every other console for the rest of the year, including its own successor, the PS2. The discs were massive. An average game cartridge of the time was 120 megabyte. A PlayStation CD was 650 megabyte. This meant incredible graphics and high quality music, but also mind-numbing loading times. Oh, the loading times were the worst. They were just the worst, but that's just how it is. But look how it is now. Most games don't even have a loading screen on it, so that's pretty cool. Okay, but games still struggle to fit. Riven, the sequel to the atmospheric puzzler Miss, took up 5 separate discs. Whoa, now that's crazy. The Final Fantasy VII was originally a detective story. Influenced by Raven Chandler, a film noir, it would have been a mystery rather than a much-loved, big-haired RPG. Instead of Cloud, it would have starred a character called Hot-Blooded Detective Joe. Well, I'm kind of glad they didn't make it to a noir game, mystery noir game, because I'm not really an RPG fan, but now, you know, Final Fantasy VII is probably one of the best games of all time. You know, that's what people say. So they must be right. So yeah, okay. You can only beat Metal Gear Solid by unplugging your controller. The boss Psycho Mantis could read your mind, read your controller inputs. To defeat him, the player had to unplug their controller and plug it back into the PlayStation 2 port. Very meta. Wow. Gran Turismo took 15 years to make, at least according to designer Kazunori Yamachi. The idea of a realistic racing game with gearhead attention to detail first came to him as a 15-year-old boy. Wipeout was for the happy hardcore. PlayStation was cool in a way video games never were, with illegal raves and ecstasy in the newspapers. Sony demonstrated as futuristic racing gaming clubs around Britain. The soundtrack featured electronica art acts like Left Field, the Chemical Brothers, and Orbital, and the colors and movement were freaking Mental Man. That's not what it says, but you know, fucking mental, man. Crash Bandicoot could have been a wombat or a Potoro. No, we have no idea either. The PS1 is also called the PSX. You might see snooty nerds on the internet calling the PlayStation 1 the PSX. This was short for the PlayStation's name during development, the PlayStation Experimental. Confusingly, Sony later released a version of the PlayStation 2, which included a digital video recorder, also called the PlayStation PSX. God know what they're going to call the PlayStation 10. Well, yeah, that's for sure, PSX. It was a treasure trove for pirates. The CD-based PS1 was released just as home computers started getting CD rewriter drives built into them. Piracy exploded, and by the end of its life cycle, anyone with a steady hand could chip their console to play, copy, or foreign games in minutes. Its rarest game dissolves when touched. 50 copies of Elemental Gearbot Assassin's Case were given away as prizes at E3 1999. It came with a gold-plated painted gun. If you do happen to come across the super rare game, don't touch it. The gold paint dissolves in contact with human sweat. Wow, that's crazy. But yeah, guys, I really hope you enjoy the facts about PlayStation, the original PlayStation, might I say. And you know, I've learned a lot. Some things I've knew, and then there's some things I didn't know about it at all. So I'm definitely, it was definitely cool to learn some more things about the PlayStation that I may not have known at all. And it's really pretty cool. Like I said, I like doing facts about things that maybe I do know or maybe I don't know, and it's just pretty interesting. And maybe it's pretty interesting for you guys as well, listening or relaxing or getting some rest. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a good day, a good evening, and a wonderful night. Okay, guys, take care.